Come on! I can make bread with it! Bread!
Hello, welcome to Facts of Future Past. I'm your host, Alec.
And I'm your host that's fresh out of the oven. I'm Steffi.
What a bun!
Hot off the press. I'm sorry. I don't like that.
Fresh out of the oven.
This is so dumb.
Fresh
No more
off the
bread
block.
puns. If you can't tell, we have a bread-themed show today. Well, at least I think it is. Mine is, at least.
Mine's bread adjacent.
Here's what's going to happen. I have a little history fact that I'm going to talk about, and Alec has a modern interpretation of what I'm talking about. I don't know what the thread's going to be. I don't know what he's going to talk about, so I'm really excited.
I don't know if it's interpretation. It's like tangents.
Tangents?
It's a present tangent and a past tangent. This show is only tangents.
You know how I think of it? It's like, a conspiracy board where somebody has like a lot of like threads
Exactly.
and like
All
bullet
the red
points,
yarn.
and then you grab one of those random bullet points, pull it all the way to the other side of the room, and that's what you decide to talk about. All right, are you ready for my little history lesson?
Breadly I am.
Oh no.
I'm bread. I'm bready.
You know what? I think we're going to end
Please
this
start
podcast.
talking.
All right. Okay. Here's the scene. You are a lower class family during the 1800s. You live in London. Papa Joe is working his butt off to supply for his family.
Good old Papa Joe.
Little Joe Jr. just got back from chimney sweeping. Mama Joina did some shopping today after her long day job as a seamstress.
Joina. Ooh. Oh, but it was bread. How dare.
So here's what's going on. There is tons of advances in technology during this time. We're talking like late 1800s. We're getting light bulbs. We're getting indoor plumbing, which is actually kind of good for this low-class family because there's so much diarrhea.
This exact situation.
Now, the thing is, because of all that, the demand for easy and quick food is rising. And who does everyone really rely on? The baker supplying the bread.
Chef Boyardee.
No. That's a different chef. He's actually a real person, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Future episode.
So, in order to, stay with the demand, some bakers may have taken some shortcuts. Also, some were very greedy. Basically, bakers were toying with the bread, and it was causing a lot of problems.
Toying, huh?
Now, do you know anything about this subject before I continue on?
So sometimes I heard that they would use stuff that's like cheap flour, like, I don't know, like potatoes or something.
So the thing that I constantly saw was bean flour instead of regular flour, right?
So just beans, just ground up beans.
I guess.
That's where that was the farty bread, not the runny bread.
That was the family next door. They got the other bread.
They got the bean bread.
So because some of these bakers were really shady, they put some maybe not great ingredients into the bread. And that is things like ground bones, chalk, plaster of Paris, which is basically like a soft...
Oh, God!
Yeah. If you don't know what that is, it's like a soft mixture of lime and sometimes with like sand and gypsum. Gypsum?
Gypsum?
Gypsum. Side note, everybody, I read words before I hear them, so if I say them incorrectly, I am so sorry.
Who would have thought that would have been a weird idea to have a podcast with two people with mild dyslexia?
Great idea, right? And one of the more horrible ingredients was alum. Alum? I'm going to say alum. A-L-U-M.
Like aluminum?
If it is made from aluminum. It's a derivative of it.
God.
Derivative of it. Yep.
It's not. It's worse than aluminum. It's an aluminum byproduct.
Now, yes, like the family we talked about, diarrhea was one of the symptoms, but people were also getting constipation. Some people were getting rickets, and a huge, huge problem was that people were actually very malnourished. Malnourished. Because, like, according to tastingtable.com, Victorian families were eating at least 55 loaves of bread a week. Like, it was a huge staple of their diet.
That's a lot of dough.
You don't want to know the annoying part? So in my notes, my next line is bakers needed to make that dough.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've stepped on the bit.
No.
I've stepped on your bit.
This is way funnier. So some of the reasons why people relied heavily on bakers was one, a lot of middle class and lower class people could not either afford ovens or did not have the space of onions in their homes, especially, with a rapid growing London, there just was not enough room. I forgot to mention, one of the side effects of alum in bread was that it made it so gosh darn white, like super white bread. Like, think of the cheapest, whitest bread and just assume it's like 20 times lighter than that, right?
It's like paper.
Yeah, it might as well be. But basically, because bread was also a status thing and they needed it to be ultra, pure, it went towards like a lot of like clergy. I think I chose the worst subject because I don't know how to pronounce some of these words.
We're learning. That's the whole point of this show.
Anyways,
it's an educational podcast, and sometimes the educators are learning too.
Okay, so I don't know why I'm the one losing it this episode. Anyways, so yeah, it was a status thing to have like really like white, pure bread. But of course, there isn't really a safe way to do it, especially back then. On top of that, Here's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite facts, and the reason I wanted to do this subject, because I heard through the grapevine a long time ago, remember, I used to be a baker, for those who don't know, is that it was very well known that bakers back in this time would find different ways to weigh down bread. Alum is a lot heavier than flour.
Yeah, I'll say.
Another way they would make the bread like loaf thicker, I suppose, heavier, is that they wouldn't cook it all the way, just the outside, and sell it that way, so it was still doughy in the middle.
Oh
Yeah.
Custard.
I mean, I'm sure that was so healthy, especially at that time. And yeah, like, they would just do anything they can to make things like heavier, purer, and they didn't really care about like how.
Wait. Sorry, going back. And that was the invention of bread pudding.
Oh, what? For real?
No! Underbaking bread does not make bread pudding!
Sorry. I was like, I don't remember that one. So, I wanted to read this passage from Ontario-bakery.com because they have like a FAQ about Victorian time baking, and I read this and I'd never want to time travel back to Victorian ages after reading this.
If you do, you're packing your own lunch.
Especially bread. All right. Oh, God. Just thinking about this. So this is what the passage said. To remove the sour flavor of old milk, they added borax powder, or borat, however you pronounce it. Borax is an alkaline, and this neutralized the acidic sour flavors that made the milk taste bad. The Victorians believed this purified the milk and removed all the harmful materials. They were wrong. End quote.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is borax?
I
What
don't
does
know,
it
but
do to you?
I know people use it when they want to like heavily deep clean laundry.
Oh
Like
God.
they'll do like a borax clean where and it like it's so strong sometimes it strips the color as well. So imagine that in your tummy.
Oh wait, no, I remember bore. Yeah, I don't know why it's called. No, sorry, it's pronounced bore. I vaguely remember this from like a science
It's
fair.
not borax.
It's not
Am I
borax.
thinking of
It's sodium bore.
I think borax is a brand name actually.
It might
Based
be,
on
but no. Well, no. As I'm looking at it, people say that's how it's spelled.
So there's two spellings.
Borax.
And then I also have another spelling, Borate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also bore.
Bore.
And I only know this because what is it? Sodium borate was one of the ingredients in oh boy. So we had this toy. Maybe it was we had this toy in the 90s where Steffi and I are from.
Oh god.
That was just basically like ooze. And it was called GAK. G-A-K.
Oh my god, I always wanted gak.
I had one and I left it out and it got hard and I was very sad. It's just like watery Play-Doh, basically, that you could not shape into anything. What is it? Yes, they would do things like make them at science fairs, a homemade version that wasn't green, because the GAK was green. It was supposed to look like Nickelodeon slime, I think. Anyway, one of the things it's just made of like glue and sodium bore and like water, and I think that was it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe some
Not
other
the sort of thing I would ever want to eat in Victorian times.
Or ever.
Or ever, really, yeah.
So, fun fact, there were laws eventually put in place around, like, late 1870.
I would not have been surprised if you said, there were laws put in place in 2019.
Honestly, considering how some things go, I wouldn't have been surprised either. But no, late 1870s. It didn't completely stop the issue, though, but it did slow it down a little. So, there was that. And then eventually, luckily, they changed it so, bread was sold by the loaf instead of the weight. And they the government did what they could, I think. I don't know. Who knows? Luckily, it does not seem to be an issue as much today. And hopefully ever
we can
again.
Only hope. Well, maybe, when the world of Fallout starts again and we're making bread out of, I don't know, irradiated wheat monsters. We're going to have to go back to the old systems.
Unrelated, if you want to make bread, it is one of the easiest things you can bake. If someone tells you baking bread is hard, they are liars and they probably eat borax, okay?
Yeah.
Like learning how to make a basic like bread recipe is very, very easy and I highly recommend just like learning because it's fun and like it tastes so much better in my opinion. All right, Alec. That was my little tale for today. What is yours? What is the connection here?
Well, we're gonna take a little foray into the world of competitive eating with the tale of Joey Chestnut and Takaru Kobayashi. There was the Coney Island hot dog eating contest by Nathan's Hot Dogs, and it was just kind of a for fun, festival event, just like ha ha ha, look at this hot dog eating contest. Then Kobayashi just struts in and he takes it about as seriously as like, the finals of in an NBA game or something. He goes up there and just decimates the competition by doing an eating strategy where he snapped the hot dogs in half so it would take him half the time to eat the hot dog, and he took the bread of the hot dog and dipped it in water.
I saw videos of that.
Yeah, and he would ball it up, dip it in water, and then just swallow it.
I hated watching those videos, and I think I've seen them all.
Yeah. So he's known as the godfather of eating, competitive eating, and this happened in 2001. After his triumph of just, it's like, what is this man? Who is this strange being just devouring hot dogs like no one else ever has? ESPN gets involved, and it starts being like televised. There's like sponsorships. It gets nuts. The first person to beat Kobayashi is a man named Joey Chestnut.
See, I know about him because he also is a, I guess, famous competitor eater person. Yeah.
He's the guy who starts beating Kobayashi every year. So it's this heated rivalry between Chestnut and Kobayashi for years. And then in 2010, Kobayashi is barred from competing in Major Eating League, Major League Eating. That's the MLE. It's the organization that is now sponsoring all of these major eating competitions. But they bar him from competing because he refused to sign a non-compete, getting sponsorships from other leagues or other
So he got
places. Yeah.
They banned a competitor from competing?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, screw the MLE?
Yeah, the Major League Eating.
MLB, except it's...
Yeah, like eating. Major League Baseball, but Major League Eating.
Okay.
The year he gets... So 2010, when he's barred from competing, he still attends the event, and then when people notice that he's there just watching... Everyone starts chanting, let him eat, let him eat. And then, he gets riled up, and then he just and they're like pushing him towards the stage, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna eat. And then he climbs up onto the stage, and then he's arrested.
What?
Yeah. After climbing onto the stage, they arrest him, and he's led away in handcuffs from the Nathan's Hot Dog contest on Coney Island that he made famous.
Jeez Louise.
The injustice. Yeah. What's worse is the last time that Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi went head-to-head in this competition, they ended up in a tie of 59 hot dogs each.
Jeez.
And then they went into sudden death, where they had 5 hot dogs, and first to finish was the winner. And Joey Chestnut ate his 5 in 1 minute flat.
Oh my god.
5 hot dogs in 60 seconds.
Ugh.
So yeah, that was the last time that they competed together for the Nathan's Hot Dog Challenge.
This is literally the plot of some really dumb anime I would get really obsessed with.
Because we're not done yet!
Oh god. Okay.
2024! Present day! Joey Chestnut has been barred from competing.
What?
In Nathan's Hot Dogs because he takes a deal with Impossible Foods, the plant-based food company. He was going to do a hot dog eating competition with their Impossible Hot Dog. And the MLE is like, no, the commissioner doesn't like that. Joey Chestnut, you're out.
Wow. Oh my god. Mr. Nathan needs to get his head out of his buns.
But we're not done yet!
Oh my god! What else could be going on? Okay, go on.
After Joey Chestnut is barred from the Nathan's Hot Dog eating competition that made him and Kobayashi famous, Netflix announces they will be filming a competition, a grudge match between Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi this year.
Oh my god. We gotta watch this.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll have we'll have a quick update. And that is the world of the Coney Island hot dog rumble. That's the
scandal.
And that's the hot dog scandal. And that's the way the hot dog crumbles into water. Because that's the way Kobayashi eats them.
Oh my god. What is the team at Nathan's thinking? Like, it's not, like, exactly... I get it, it's an institute now, I suppose, but it's not exactly, the Olympics. And even they are having issues, like...
But now who's even gonna show up to that competition?
I know.
These two kings, they've gone to Netflix now.
I wonder if there's like fan fiction shipping these two.
They're absolute. We should see their AO3 listing.
Have I ever told you I was also in a hot dog eating contest before?
Oh my god.
It was awful.
I really don't know who you are.
It was also a veggie hot dog eating contest.
You would be barred from participating in Major League Eating.
Apparently. So it was in the littlest, biggest bar in Texas, or the biggest little bar in Texas, something like that. It's super tiny is what the point is.
It's very small.
It's very small.
It's probably smaller than a kitchen.
It is a very tiny place. I remember it was like 104 degrees outside. My friend at the time and I went because one of my coworkers at the time, she was the one helping run it. So I was like, I'm going to help support my friend. I think I ate about 6 hot dogs before I threw in the flag. And I'm like, why would anyone do this to themselves? This is awful. And the fact that they were veggie dogs, they weren't good veggie dogs either. Like, I like a good veggie dog. But they were just like lightly boiled veggie dogs. It was just so disgusting.
So it probably tastes a lot like dipping a hot dog bun in water.
Yeah, kind of. I get it. Yeah. I don't get it, actually.
I just keep trying to bring bread back into it as much as I can so that the episode makes sense overall.
Anyways, bread is an important part of society, whether you're not cooking it all the way and filling it with metal so you can get a bigger profit, or if you're so greedy, you bar, the only famous people in your competition from your contest because you're greedy. Don't mix bread and greed, is what we're trying to say.
you know that old saying, as greedy as a baker.
No! Anyways, we will see you next week, hopefully actually on time. Hey, bye!
Bye, bread.
But if this brings you just a little closer